Nothing like
Hey, good morning. Trying something new.
Smooth transition to get the show. Yes.
Good morning. Welcome to the Wade and Carter Show.
From bad techno pop music to dead air.
There's no dead air.
It was dead. It was death. There
Welcome
was
to
a
the show,
stench.
everybody. Welcome to the show. Could be a good one.
Welcome to our conversation. It's not always positive. Everything's not positive. You know, there's things that are convoluted. You're trying to get a round hat on that square head.
More or less, it feels like that today. Ricky Kane, Ryan Hopping, and Mark Kurtz on the podium this morning. Welcome to the Atson Hopper studio and the show this morning. We're glad you're all here.
It's amazing to me. Atson Hopper has been a South Texas tradition for over 100 years. It just all my life. I remember being a little kid going to the Chevy house. Got to go to the Chevy house with Dad. Amazing. By the way, under the facade over there is the same building is still there. I'd love to see it restored where it was that kind of off green. I can see it as a kid. Awesome. Wade and Carter Weather brought to you by the great folks at AT Deerland Feed. For over 50 years, the little gin that could, providing you and yours with everything you need. I'm going down, if not today, certainly this weekend, and getting the Balon, that stuff, pre-emergent. Go in and ask Jackie Parsons, say, I need that pre-emergent.
What if it's both soft syllables, Balon?
That sounds, yeah, it could be.
Could be.
Speaking of that, we'll talk about Iran in a moment. 64 degrees in Victoria, Texas, under sunny skies, heading to a high today of 88. Today could be like the perfect day, right? Like almost
summer.
Almost like San Diego. Stay classy, Victoria. But almost like San Diego, except in San Diego, it would be like 70 with a high of 77, 8. We're going 64 to 88.
Yeah, that 88's a little bit.
But, I mean, you know, you can.
Steamy for February 26th.
I like the options. You can leave the house with a light jacket on. You could wear a blazer out in public without being sweaty. And yet this afternoon, you could practice spring baseball and work up a good sweat.
Golf.
Yeah. 64 to 88. What a beautiful day. Hi, Rena Shear, Scott Tomko, Randy Langston. There's Bobby Leister. Saw Bobby yesterday.
I did too.
Yeah, it's a great day for me.
Patrick Strauss, good morning. Marvin Mickish, Linda Chris, Torm Bales.
We may have to get Patrick Strauss to come on the program. We're sneaking up on the annual and highly anticipated Wade and Carter spring training series of shows. Yes, we've done them for years. Nobody has ever seen them. We don't ever put them out to the public. But wouldn't you agree that that's something we should probably do is discuss spring baseball?
Probably so.
Okay.
Brent Anderson, Scott Snow, Tammy Keeling, Jr., Greg Garcia, Andrew Alvarez, Lisa Poole, good morning.
Means a lot when we're on the same page like that. Speaking of Lisa Poole, tonight, Palace Bingo, where friends meet friends. Commander, it's no place for children, but you can always bring your baby.
It's a livestock show weekend. I don't know why y'all are doing anything but that.
Well, and that's the type of promotion. That's the type of promotion Palace pays us for right there.
There you go.
Is you just, yeah. No, but Thursday night, is there something going on at the livestock show tonight?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well,
Like what?
If you're not supporting the kids at the livestock show,
sure.
Go do that early. First ball pops at 7:30.
Yep.
Livestock shows open all day. Go get your nostrils full of the aromas of the livestock show. Come out and have a cheeseburger with the L&L Grill.
We'll have a good time.
Man, we're gonna have a good time. Tonight should be a highly attended. It really will be. Palace Bingo.
So is the left mad at Cuba for just blasting a boat out of waters
Those
like they
people were
are
not
like
given-
they are Trump for blasting boats filled with drug-running narco terrorists out of the water?
Those people were not given due process by those communists, and I tell you what, it is a problem for me. Some people just seeking a better life, trying to get into Cuba. They just wanted to live a better existence there in Cuba. The left, the first ones to tell you that the communist way of life is the premier way of life. These folks going into Cuba get shot by the Cuban Coast Guard. That's like 4 guys in a P-row.
Cuban officials say that 10 passengers on the boat registered to Florida.
They have a history of criminal and violent activity. Now, what nobody told you that we'll go ahead and tell you is that the only thing American about anything to do with this was that the boat is registered in the U.S. It's like a ship being registered to Russia. The boat was about a mile northeast of Cayo Falcones. They killed 4 people. They injured the rest. What they did is they strafed that boat with machine gun fire.
Well, and Cuba's claiming that the people in the boat opened fire on them first.
I wouldn't doubt that. The reality is the people were probably Cuban.
They were trying to infiltrate Cuba. 10 people on a speedboat are going to overthrow the Cuban government. I mean, is anybody buying this story?
I'll tell you who's buying that story. The January 6 people who believe that there was an attack on democracy, that there was an absolute insurrection, and that the United States government and our very way of life was under attack by those old ladies with their hats on that broke into our nation's capital. The reality is these people that were breaking into Cuba most likely were Cuban. They were terrorists. They were trying to go in and call. Yeah, Randy Lacey says, hey, it had U.S. plates. I have a feeling that the boat was stolen. JP Hull, you like my hat? It's nice.
Buddy Stefano, good morning. Sherry Jacobs, see you at bingo tonight?
Yeah.
So, yeah, interesting. It's just,
it is interesting, though.
It's a weird story.
That somebody's trying to break into Cuba. Very rare.
Marco Rubio says they're working hard to identify those that were on the boat to see if they had any ties to being Americans or residents here.
They may have been living in Miami, but I'll go on a limb and tell you they weren't Americans. This was not like Bay of Pigs 2.0. It just wasn't.
Cuban government says that they have identified 2 of the boat passengers and basically say that they were wanted by the Cubans.
One's named Gonzalez, the other's name is Gomez.
Because they were basically trying to overthrow the government.
Wouldn't it be something if somebody actually did? What if the Cuban people who've been suppressed for so long, they have no idea, but what if they actually overthrew the Castro family regime and took Cuba back?
They said they've also arrested Daniel Hernandez Santos, adding that he was sent from the United States to guarantee the reception of the armed infiltration and has confessed to his actions.
So they're saying that he was an American, as if the United States was involved?
At least ties to the United States, that the U.S. may be involved somehow. Late last night, they claim they have now identified 7 of the 10 passengers on the boat.
Castello, Acosta, Guevara, Consegra. Cuba's government said that one of the 4 killed was Michael Ortega Casanova. 3 others have not yet been identified. Casanova is the brother of Michael Ortega Casanova. His Misael Ortega Casanova said that he was mourning his brother's death, but lamented that he fell into what he called an obsessive and diabolical quest for Cuba's freedom. Only us Cubans who have lived over there understand the great suffering. So, yeah, they're Cubans, and maybe some of them are Cubans who are living in the United States. They decided to, hold my beer. I'm going to go take our country back. And they found out.
Yeah.
Speaking of finding out.
How come nobody's mad? Cuban ICE didn't give them their due process. Why weren't they put in a cage and held?
Yeah, not a detention center, but a cage. Yeah. What do you make of hi, Kendall, there's my baby. What do you make of Iran literally saying to the U.S., we will destroy your aircraft carriers. And, oh, by the way, you're not going to tell us that we cannot enrich uranium.
Iran being Iran, trying to be Iranian things to its people in the wake of the uprising, trying to show they're still in control.
A little bravado.
Trying to be, yeah, exactly.
I
It's
think they're going to get zapped.
It means nothing.
The U.S. still pouring troops into the region. Aircraft.
But a third of our naval ships are in that region. I've heard.
I imagine about 25% are there all the time, but yes, a third are there. Hi, Jason. It does make you wonder what the end game is for Iran. Sources saying that the Indian prime minister is in Israel, so that logistically, time-wise, the United States won't do anything right now because Israel would be involved in whatever's going to happen, and they don't want to do that while they have a visiting dignitary. But the story is, if Iran were to get a nuclear weapon, which, by the way, they don't need to enrich uranium any further than they already have in order to have nuclear power. So the only reason to continue to enrich the uranium is to get weapons-grade uranium. Syria, for example, has already reached out to Pakistan and said, look, if Iran keeps going and ends up with the bomb, we'd like to buy a couple from you. And Pakistan saying, we will help you.
Pakistan has some, right?
So there you have it. We don't need, and President Trump has said...
Can you imagine the Middle East, as unstable as it is, with every country there having some sort of nuclear weapon?
They're just not the same level of civilization. There may be certain things about them that are advanced compared to the West, but their political, they're just not as globally savvy.
Well, here's my concerns with what's going on in Iran. It'd kind of be like toppling the Cuban government. Things are so backwards, you would have nothing but civil unrest in Iran or Cuba if you toppled the Castros, right? And if you toppled the Ayatollah in Iran. The power vacuum, I can't imagine you wouldn't leave a huge power vacuum that would just be filled with unrest, more fighting, more destabilizing. At least you know the crazy that's in charge of Iran right now. You wouldn't have a clue who to deal with in Iran, because if you think the people that are uprising are going to be the ones in control, they have no weapons. It'll be somebody associated to the government that has control of all the weapons so they can just kill anybody who tries to seize power from them.
Well, there is a difference. There's Clayton and Carter Helt checking in. Good morning, guys. The thing to know is that if something happened to the regime in Cuba, there is no other leadership. If something happened to the regime...
No, but you've got a military there that would probably...
It would still be communist. You know, they would still be... We would have to just go in and take them over at that point. That would take a morning. It would take a morning for the United States to take over Cuba. But in Iran, you have a government. You have a structure, right? There's either a prime minister or there's a prince, right? Is there royalty?
I think it's they kicked them out, the Shah of Iran, right?
Was he royalty or was he just the Shah? I don't know.
I think he's like a king.
But there is a president, if you will, of Iran. He just answers to the Ayatollah. I think they have a government structure.
They do, but
whereas Cuba does not. Without the Castros are the government. Whereas in Iran, you've got a government, but you've also got...
Well, and the Ayatollah is basically like... The Ayatollah
he's the guy. Yeah, he's religion.
He's like the Pope to Muhammad in their view of religion. And what they've done with the 30,000 that they or the mass number of protesters. I mean, they're saying up to 30,000 were gunned down and killed in the protests that have now, stopped.
They were like
because
all
were
under
killing
the
them.
age of 25, young people.
But they've charged they've arrested a bunch of them as well, and they basically charged them with treason, and they're up. I think they took the death penalty off the table because of pressure from Donald Trump, but that was basically what they were charged with, was treason or heresy, and they were basically being charged with, going against the Ayatollah and therefore going against Muhammad, so they're not being good Muslims, and they can be punished by death for that.
And the Pharisees are going to send them before the Sanhedrin.
Yeah. So, I mean, but what and they're saying it would cause there's a lot of potential unrest that would happen in other parts of the Middle East because of the faction of Islam that is the majority of Iran. And I can't remember if it's Shiites or Sunnis in Iran. Whichever one it is, they're saying that whichever faction it is, in all the other Middle Eastern countries, the people there would start to uprise because of any actions taken against that sect of Islam in Iran. And so it could just, the domino effect in the Middle East, it's just, I don't know, it's going to be, I think the unknown consequences of any action in Iran could really destabilize that.
But I'm just going with the Wade and Carter endless metaphor where we just it sounds like if we were only playing charades, like 2 syllables sounds like, I don't know.
It's hard to explain because it's such a mess over there. And there's so many dominoes and ripple effects of what happens in Iran into the other areas.
But once again, we try to ascribe Western values to these foreigners, and they're just disjointed. They're just chaotic.
Well, and that's part of the problem with them and why they hate us, because we've tried to.
Right. And the thing is, they're really just nomads that fight. They've been fighting for thousands of years. That's all they understand is somebody crushing them.
They use religion like David Koresh used religion to control people, and they don't care. They don't believe in Islam. They believe in Islam enough to control the people and as a tool to have power.
Yeah, it's a weapon.
And riches. And that's it.
You don't ever worry about the Presbyterian terrorist. You don't worry about the Baptist guy walking into a public building and opening fire. It's a different level of terrorism, and terrorism in the name of God is just it's just weird, something we just can't relate to. No. Folks, White Trash Services inviting you to help your local volunteer fire department. Commit to a 1, 2, or 3 year service agreement, $25, $50, $100 goes directly to your local volunteer fire department. Over $22,000 now given in the name of you. You've done a great job. You've done great things. USA Concrete Coatings, 578-HOME. Hello, Uncle Norm. 578-HOME. Charlie Garcia can help you sand it, seal it, stain it, paint it, whatever you want done. He can help you do it to your concrete. Veracruz Restaurant. It is post-Caldo Wednesday, Thursday.
It is.
A good day to get in and have a drowning enchilada. Get in, have the best queso, hot sauce, guacamole. Super good stuff. Homemade chips, homemade tortillas. The best Tex-Mex in town. The Atzenhofer Vehicle of the Week, brought to you by Ash. You won't believe this
Right
little
there.
beauty. Look at that. That's actually, go.
This is a 2012 Cadillac SRX. It's got 41,000 miles, so it's barely broken in, and it's on sale for under $15,000. That's my car of the week this week.
Perfect car for a kid getting ready to go to college.
Got enough cargo area to put your stuff in. All the amenities. It's got a 6-cylinder engine, so it's going to be decent on gas, but give you enough oomph to get going. Look at that. 17 on the city, 24 on the highway.
It's roughly 14 years old, but I mean, it still looks brand new. And the thing is, it gets driven an average of 3,000 miles a year.
Yeah.
Grandma drove the car 250 miles a month. It's that car's like brand new for under 15 grand. Everything electric, everything, it's nice. Hello, Marina. Cheswick
Marina.
Furniture, Cheswick and Love, make your house a home. Get in today. See why you just always do better at Cheswick. Don't keep your mattress too long. Sealy Posturepedic, Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, depending on what kind of bedding you want, they've got it all. Appliances, furniture, best recliners, leather, fabric. Might even have some Naugahyde in there if you get in there and dig back into the back. They've been there 100 years. Cheswick Furniture. Go by and tell Bobby Leon that Wade and Carter sent you.
Go get some accoutrement.
Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. Allen's your go-to tow
Only
team.
number you need if you're traveling in the region within the sound of our voice. If you break down and need a tow, give Allen's a call. The consummate professionals,
The
best
best
in the
of the
business.
best. They get called when a big rig ends up on its side, and you have to make the decision. Can we salvage the load? What's the best way to do this? What's the best way to do that? They call Alan Miller. He's been doing it for over 50 years. Reach out to Allen's Wrecker Service.
Hillary Clinton expected to testify today.
You know
before
she's got something
Congress.
to hide because she doubled down. That's right. We want to testify, and we want to testify in public. Yeah.
And what do you think her answer is going to be? I plead the fifth.
I can't. I have no recollection of that. There's so much has happened since then. Does it really matter? It was so long ago. Benghazi Clinton, she'll go in there and she allowed on her watch with troops available, she allowed an ambassador to be sodomized and dragged down a street naked in Benghazi and later testified under oath. What does it matter now? It was so long ago.
The depositions will be videotaped, and apparently the footage will be released within a couple of days of the
That
interview.
means it'll
according to
get
the
held up in
GOP
some
committee.
court
Yeah.
injunction. It'll be years.
Hillary Clinton says she's never met Epstein yet.
She's a liar.
Unless it's Photoshop. There was a photo circulating on the internet last week
She
of
is
her,
a liar.
Ghislaine Maxwell, Bill Clinton, and Jeffrey Epstein all standing together like they are old chums.
And she has said, well, I do know that Bill went on Epstein's plane for fundraising purposes. I've heard her say that. But here's the deal. If you don't think that at some point in their political careers that go back to the 80s, that Bill and Hillary Clinton, long before Jeffrey Epstein fell out of favor with the left, long before he was a convicted pedophile, and I'm not, look, if I'm going to give a benefit of a doubt to Donald Trump as pertains to his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, I have to give a much larger benefit of the doubt because there is much more data connecting Bill Clinton and Jeffrey Epstein than there is connecting Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. But Hillary Clinton is a liar. If she says, oh, I never met that dude, she may never have had a sit-down dinner with him. She may never have been to Epstein Island, although I think she's on some plane manifest.
I know Bill is 16 times, I believe.
But there is no way that a Democrat candidate never met somebody who was as prolific a Democrat donor as Jeffrey
Absolutely.
Epstein. She's a liar. And it's nothing new to her. And if you say it enough, if you say it enough, people will finally accept it as being the truth. Yeah, I think Clinton is deep, deep, deep into whatever there is out there, the Rothschilds or the Trilateral Commission, any of that stuff. Bill Clinton is deep in the middle of it. He was perceived as somebody who could control the blacks in this country. He is deep, deep in the middle of it all. No doubt. Hey, there's State Rep, House District 30, A.J. Louderback. Good morning, sir. Yeah. Well, like Patrick
AJ.
Strauss says, if she tells the truth, She would probably be headed to jail. She has to lie. No doubt.
Randy Langston says a year ago it was either Wired or Vice that tracked every cell phone ping from the island.
Right. Very interesting.
It is.
I don't think that you have to be careful throwing around the word evil because it's different things to different people. I believe, honestly, that Hillary Clinton is as close to the personification of evil as exists in this country. And I'll say it this way. I believe that once Hillary Clinton has an objective in mind, there is no length to which she won't go, no level to which she won't stoop to achieve that objective. Whether it's to keep Bill Clinton president. I mean, nobody talks about these situations like Vince Foster, these people that supposedly, literally committed suicide with a gunshot to the back of the head, but there was no blood on the location where they were found. Somehow they shot themselves
in the back of the
and
head
then
twice,
dumped
and then
their
walked.
body across town. These things, they simply were squashed because the Clintons had such political clout. And I do. I believe that she is and I think as in many relationships, Hillary Clinton absolutely ran that relationship. I believe I could see her walking in and just going, Bill, you idiot, you idiot.
Yeah.
I could really see it happening. And I'm not saying she would be wrong, but I really believe she could walk in and just go, well, you've done it again, Bill, you idiot. Oh, hell, I'm sorry. That's just the way I'm wired. They're so cute. You know, I mean, I'm telling you, I believe she is the most evil person in the United States. Truly do. Followed, I'm close. Bill Gates. Bill Gates. Did you see where Larry Summers, that's a name many of you would remember. He was a very close ally of Bill Clinton, political advisor. He resigned a position at Harvard yesterday over his relationship connection to Jeffrey Epstein. Some of this may be a little bit extreme. It's like, well, look, your name's in the file, you've got to go. Some of that may be extreme because I'll tell you that if Ash and I were on the air in New York City, there's a chance there'd be a picture somewhere of me and Ash with Jeffrey Epstein. Hey, you ever met Jeff Epstein? No, I never have. Here, somebody takes a picture. Next thing you know, Brent and Ash, they were cavorting around New York with Jeffrey Epstein. It's just not true. But I mean, Dawn and I went to dinner last night. We're there an hour. All right. Shan Skipper came to our table. Bobby Leister came to our table. The owner of the restaurant came to our table. A friend of ours named Tommy, who Dawn and I both know from various sports and other people, came to our table. Well, if somebody would have been there and taken a picture, were we with those people? No, but there's nobody in that group I wouldn't have been proud to be seen with. But the whole point is it happens all the time.
Randy Langston says, eating babies, molesting children, drinking blood. I mean, just a Tuesday night, right?
Yeah,
I believe the molesting of children happened. I believe there were lots of satanic rituals that took place on Epstein Island.
But why do we believe that? You got any evidence of that ever? I too believe it, but it's only because
I don't know about the eating babies. I don't know about that one, and I don't want to know about that one. I can't get to there.
With a nice Chianti and some fava beans?
Randy Langston says it's all in the files.
Okay, is it, Randy, I'm asking, and certainly not disputing, but I am asking, has anyone, is that part of this?
Like, was there video of them actually eating babies, or did somebody just make a stupid comment? I mean, I don't know.
But
That's
is
what I'm
that
trying
part
to get to.
of this cover-up that it's just too grotesque, it's just too big to get out? I mean, what would you do? I'm being sincere here. What would you do if you found out that Bill Clinton literally was a devil worshiper? Literally. And that he went to this place and they literally dined on baby flesh. Do I think that happened? My answer is no. I don't. I don't think that. But that's only my naivety, right? That nobody could be that deprived. And then you get certain depraved, and you get certain people, and they get to a certain level, and you're chasing that high of power. So you do things that nobody else can do. You do things that are so taboo. It is biblical. It's Sodom and Gomorrah. It's Solomon. It's all folly. It's all chasing the wind. I've done it all, he said.
I can't get there with my head because it's just so disgusting and evil.
True. Is that why? Is that and is it so deeply rooted in the power base of our country that the government has had to squash it to control the masses? I don't know. I'm even asking you folks, what's your gut tell you? Does your gut tell you that there's people, I know there's people out there that are cannibalistic, but is it like a rite of passage at a certain level of power? I don't know. It just makes you wonder what's there. You know, I can't help, I can't get over the fact.
And all they keep saying, well, Donald Trump's name is there more times than anyone. And we've explained that. That's because anybody who made an accusation, their name went into the file, right? And that's the thing. It didn't matter what you did. Cody Bauman knew a guy named Jeffrey Epstein. He's in the files.
Yeah.
Might not even be the same Jeffrey Epstein, but somebody reported it to the government.
You can go and you can Google up Epstein files, and there's a government page. And like I went in and just for giggles, I mean, I went in and opened that page. You have to be over 18. You click yes. And it says search. And I just typed in Whoopi Goldberg. And it went to an email where somebody said that we're reaching out to Jeff because Whoopi might need a plane to get from here to there. So, you know, I mean, Whoopi Goldberg's in the file. More than once. Doesn't make Whoopi Goldberg, you know, a pedophile to me at all. Do I think she's an idiot? Yes, still. But that doesn't make her a pedophile. It is hilarious to me that somebody like Whoopi, who she was great in, what's the show with the
Sister Act?
Ghost. She was great in Ghost. She was great in both Sister Act movies. Great, funny, you know, comedian and all that. All of a sudden now she's a sage. She's on, you know, The View, and she helps direct political thought. And she's not smart, you know. I mean, she's just not smart. John Paul Hull says, gross. Can I just get a Whataburger? Yeah, 100%. No doubt about it. Tell you what, you can get a Whataburger. If the power goes out, Went Services can provide a generator, big Kohler unit for that Whataburger store. Keep it up and running. Went Services for all your turnkey generator needs. You go to work, you come home, you have a generator.
Tests itself every month so you know it always works, whether it's propane, natural gas fueled. They can make sure.
Diesel.
And the thing is, they'll do all the connections. You make one call to Went, you get the order, they do it all from start to finish. You don't have to mess with any of it.
Same thing with Paravita Wellness. Me, the king of the Segway, take your blood work in, visit with Erica Briggs. She'll tell you, you need to be gluten-free. You need more protein and fewer carbs. You need to get off the sofa.
I got chicken parm from them yesterday.
She will help you. Paravita Wellness, your source of pre-made meals. Trey Molina says, no, not Whataburger. Let's go to Grandy's.
He's been threatening to come up and have some gizzards.
Oh, please come up. Love to have you. They don't have gizzards, but they've got everything else. Get by the chopping block. You want a great deal on ribeyes, different steaks, Wagyu beef. You can try it all. They've got it there, boudin, all types of homemade sausage.
A new food truck, open 11 to 4 through Saturday. Go
They
try
make
it
the
out.
jalapeno poppers. You can buy them in bulk.
I had their boudin poppers the other day. Oh man, there was an extra kick in those things, but they were so good.
I'm going to the uber exciting. There's the Cody cam. Cody over there. Oh, he's up. He's,
He's
up.
awake.
What?
He's awake,
good.
folks.
He's good.
He's
Right there.
awake.
Cody tirelessly
He's alive. He's alive.
works endlessly at Brand Us to help folks enhance their websites, to enhance their Facebook presence, to enhance their marketability.
I mean, brought this to us this morning that research suggests the T-Rex walked on tiptoes.
You know, I love that. There's nothing more interesting to me than the folks who, by the way, you can look at the skeleton. He's on his tiptoes right there. The idea that really the T-Rex, if you look at him with his little baby arms, it's just kind of a birth defect lizard. But at any rate, we have people who have told us how those lizards communicated and how the sounds they made. And have you ever heard an iguana or anything growl?
Nope.
Nah. There's no, the dinosaurs were to us as the Iranians are to Western civilization. They were just prehistoric. Just craziness. And by the way, I've got absolutely no problem with the United States going in and just eliminating Iran's form of government. None whatsoever.
Well, here's how they figured it out. Looking at this phys.org, the scientists started taking precise measurements of leg and foot bones and plugged those numbers into 3 equations used to estimate animal speeds. They modeled the 3 ways the foot could hit the ground. And that's how they came up with the, hypothesis that when they walked and ran, they were walking on their tiptoes.
Do they tell us anywhere how fast they really think they ran? And did they have T-Rex races back then? There you go.
There you go. They said they could reach speeds of 11 to 25 miles per hour and covered about 5 to 11 meters per second. So that's about 22 feet a second. The strides were so long.
25 miles an hour. But let me tell you something that you're not catching. So what does an elephant weigh, Cody? Give me a quick elephant weight.
2 tons?
I'm looking for it. I bet closer to 3, but I'm looking for
2
it.
tons of fun?
6,000 to 12,000 pounds, depending on the age.
So 12,000 pounds would be 6 tons. They're saying a T-Rex could weigh 10 tons. Now, we've seen an elephant move. Now, let's just try to picture, since everything is in evolution, right? The elephant is probably more advanced than the T-Rex in theory.
More advanced than the woolly mammoth.
Not to mention that the elephant is a mammal, which is superior to the lizard. Makes you wonder how the 10-ton, tippy-toe treading T-Rex ran 25 miles an hour. These are scientists fantasizing to keep extinct animals interesting. That T-Rex with its little baby arms just didn't run 25 miles an hour at 10 tons. I'm just not buying it. That would be the Lamborghini of prehistoric life, and I'm just not buying it.
How much does a building weigh? Like your house is a ton, maybe?
No, 2,000 pounds to the ton. I mean, an elephant could weigh 3 tons.
Right.
Your Hummer out there weighs 2 tons.
9,000 pounds.
Okay, 4 tons, 4.5 tons.
Yeah. Okay.
So picture 3, at least 2 Hummers.
Yeah.
Now, unless it was an
stacked on
all-electric
top of each other.
battery
with
operated. Maybe it was a battery
So
operated.
what we're saying is
with tractor tires on the
the
front.
Bronco's not pulling it, is what I'm.
No, that's exactly right. Look. Brent Anderson. Yeah. Sure. Hi, Brent.
Oh, it's interesting.
Look at that. JP says, I'll take a, what did he say, a bite of gizzard?
He said if Funky comes into town.
The gizzards, some people, like I'll say, well, I like chicken livers. People go, ooh, gross. I like gizzards. And when you eat a gizzard, I thought these are going to be a treat. All it is it's, you know that piece of gristle that's like if you eat chicken off the bone at the top of the drumstick, and every now and then you get it, it's kind of crunchy and kind of nasty. That's to me what a gizzard's like. I don't like things that pop and crackle.
They don't taste very good to me.
Nah, they have really kind of like no taste, right? People are predicting that Ken Paxton, John Cornyn, and Wesley Hunt, that race is headed towards a runoff. I'm curious. I don't know.
A new poll shows that Ken Paxton has a slight lead over John Cornyn.
I voted for Paxton.
UT's Texas Politics Project. Paxton leads 36 to 34% over Cornyn. Wesley Hunt falling back at 26%. Jasmine Crockett, according to that poll, has a 12-point lead over James Tallarico. You wouldn't know it the way Tallarico's spending money this last week.
Yeah, he's really making a push. But I will tell you,
or maybe that's why you know he's behind, because he's spending so much money.
You gotta think that so important in Texas is the Latino voter, and so astute is the Latino voter in Texas that much more so than their ignorant white redneck counterparts, the Latino voter will see straight through Jasmine Crockett. That I'm just telling you, the best thing that could happen is for Paxton or Cornyn to run against Jasmine Crockett, because the intelligent voter in Texas, of which half are Hispanic, is not going to vote for Jasmine Crockett. I like that a lot. Tallarico, maybe. They might say, oh, he's a white boy, he's a preacher's kid. Got to be okay. Nah, not Jasmine Crockett, no chance. And by the way, if you're a leftist and you're for Jasmine Crockett, please, 894-4020, give us any measurable standard by which you would say she's clearly the choice for Texas. Saw a deal the other day, Ash, a guy who was just as blatant, just chirping out that it makes no sense for each state to only have 2 senators, that they ought to be, representation ought to be spread based on population. I let him know that representation is spread based on population, that at the House of Representatives level, representatives are established based on population, but at the Senate level, the idea being that each state is an equal partner in the country. So between electoral votes and representation, you're good. Let's see, what did so Peter McNally said something, which is always interesting. Wait.
Well, there was a comment up here somewhere, but from Torrin.
Right, okay. Torrance says, I want all the people that did bad things to children to be prosecuted. I'm glad Trump released the files. Sure seems like the majority of the people involved in the Epstein files voted Democrat. And our own Peter McNally says, Torrin, that's a very silly comment. Sexual desires are very powerful. Politics aside. Sexual desires may be very powerful, but really? I mean, are we making the argument that minor attracted people should be tolerated? I think they should all be exterminated.
Kathleen Leininger reminding you to vote. Early voting ends tomorrow.
Election
day
I
is
do
Tuesday.
like, we don't endorse candidates, but I do really, I have voted, and I really like Allison Fox, Aaron Wrights. I like Paxton. I did not vote for Doc Chambers for governor because he's not going to win. So because I just felt like being a champion, I did vote for Greg Abbott. I'm not, as you know, I did vote for Nate Sheets. I'm not always an Abbott fan. I'll admit that. Hey, Ron Sitka.
Brandon Barker checking in from Georgetown. We're
What's
in
up, B?
Georgetown this morning.
Brandon Barker, former University of Houston golfer. He's got a son that can really stripe it, allegedly. I'm going to drag him out on the golf course. It's the typical kid. He's 13, hits at 330.
Yeah, just typical. Corpus Christi City Council
That's
the other night giving the
isn't that
green
like Monty
light.
Python,
to the
Benny Hill, Corpus Christi City Council.
Yeah. Given the green light for staff there to negotiate with a potential contract with Corpus Christi desal partners to advance that project. I don't know. I don't know with this one. About half of them were in favor, half of them weren't.
I don't understand what they're doing with their. It's clear to me they need a desal plant. It's clear to me that they need to build a huge one that can do
30 million gallons a day, according to this.
and they need to discharge it out into the Gulf. It's just going to cost them some money. And if you don't, your city's going to go away. It's pretty simple, really.
Yeah, and I believe this project is already pushing $1 billion. So, it'll be more than that because the government's involved. Much like our public safety building that opened yesterday it's been open for about a week to the public, but they had their official grand opening yesterday. I'm curious to know what the official cost, final price tag of that building was, because I don't know that we've ever been given a straight answer on that question.
Yeah, I remember when Robert Arredondo was here as chief and the budget was $25 million. I remember hearing along the way that the number was closer to 50. One number placed it at $53 million. And now I've heard that the actual finished, all in, all done, the number that was purported to be $25 million is now actually pushing $70 million. Now,
So almost 3 times?
yeah, where the money came from, I realize there's overruns, change orders. I know things happen. It is an impressive building. I do believe it will serve us for years to come.
That price tag.
Well, I believe there's some synergy involved that makes that location critical. But I don't know what you do.
And I know they moved some of the city civic courts.
Yeah, municipal courts in there.
Callie Fromme says, Jesus stated at the ribbon cutting that the building was actually $1 million under budget. Which budget? The original budget or the budget that they kept changing?
Yeah, no doubt.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominees for 2026. Let's switch gears, go a little lighter here. Let me run down the list for you. You tell me whether you think that some of these folks are worthy of the Hall of Fame or even as a nominee. Luther Vandross.
That is not Luther Vandross.
That is not Luther Vandross. What's
It's
this?
a Corpus Christi City Council theme song right there for those of you listening in on KTMV.
He's interrupting the show again.
I know. KTMV. There you go.
Luther Vandross. You think he's in the Hall of Fame?
Should be. I don't know about Rock and Roll Hall of Fame,
Yeah,
but
I don't know that he's even
he could be
worthy
in
of
the
nomination.
He could be in the Jenny Craig Hall of Fame. Luther actually performed at his best when he was really heavy, but then Luther lost a ton of weight and he wasn't quite as good.
But is he a rock and roll guy?
No, but then again, wasn't that door blown open by the breasts of Dolly Parton?
Yeah, kind of. Wu-Tang Clan?
I have no idea. I can't, I think that's silly. Shakira?
I don't believe she belongs there either. Sade? Nope.
No. Pink? Are these just nominees?
Yeah, these are the nominees for
How are you going to
2026
put,
class.
honestly, how are you going to put Pink in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Now,
She's closer than some of those other ones.
look, NXS.
I think
yeah.
NXS is in.
Yeah.
They should be in.
I think Billy Idol should be in.
Yeah.
I think Phil Collins should be in.
I think New Order and Joy Division should be in.
What about Melissa Etheridge?
Yeah.
No, you don't like
I
her?
don't think. No, I like her. I don't think she's Hall of Fame worthy.
What about the Black Crowes?
If they would have kept on after their first album
They
and
became
not kind
a
of
cult
and
band.
not kind of gone like Liam and Neil Gallagher from Oasis and had all their fighting and everything, I think they could have been really influential because they were really good at sort of bringing blues and that R&B sound from the 60s into modern rock and roll.
Right.
And then they just lost it. So, no, I don't think so. I don't think Lauryn Hill belongs in there either.
Nothing says a slow news day like an in-depth analysis of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominees.
No, I just wanted to change things up. It's
Who
been
is
all
Jeff?
doom and gloom
Who
today.
is Jeff Buckley? Was he like a bassist for
Rod
ELO? I mean, who is Jeff Buckley? I want our listeners to chime in and tell me who Jeff Buckley is.
Phil Collins for sure.
For
BJ
sure.
Nelson says, yep. Yeah, no, I agree. I think Phil Collins is in.
He put a few albums out, and he was a studio guitarist, but I can't actually tell you anything about like who he played with.
So he
or-
kind of wants to be Peter Frampton.
It's kind of what it sounds like.
Okay. Peter Frampton, yes. Hall
So
of Famer.
he's getting in with a Lifetime Achievement Award, kind of like the guy that's always in the movies that never gets really nominated for any award.
And then you realize, did you know, like the other day, if I told you, and you'll know this guy, you guys all know him whether you really can think about it or not, but what, okay, watch, this is where my brain goes. Julia Roberts. So her brother is Eric Roberts.
Yep.
You've seen him in stuff, right?
Yep.
Not a leading man, but he's kind of became a heavy. Do you have any idea how many movies Eric Roberts has been in?
Way more than Julia
I want you to
Roberts.
think about it. Would you just give me a guess?
35.
How about 800? 800 movies.
Julia
Eric Roberts.
Oh, Eric Roberts.
Eric Roberts has been in 800 movies. That's a lot of bad movies.
That's a lot of movies.
Are they all on the Hallmark Channel?
No. In fact, he's usually
Lifetime.
a bad guy.
Oh, Lifetime.
He's
Got it.
usually a bad guy. BJ, go to my Facebook page, and I put a humorous guide to Texas universities, like how you go. You know, it's like it says it's a chart. It says, "Are you smart?" And then yes. Are you a Democrat? No. Then you go to A&M. Yes, you go to Texas. You know, if you're a Democrat and you're smart. It goes down, are you rich? If you are you a snob? Yes. Then you go to SMU. If you're not, you go to TCU or Baylor. It says, if not, did your mother go to Baylor? No. Then you go to TCU. If your mother went to Baylor, then you go to Baylor. It's really funny. And a lot of stereotypes, but not too far from accurate.
A lot of people yesterday's phones were blowing up because of a 12-year-old girl who was the center of an Amber Alert. They were looking for a Mustang. They found the car. Well, they eventually found the girl. She's been found alive and safe. They arrested a 20-year-old man. I think he's been charged with harboring a runaway at this point.
As opposed to kidnapping?
Yeah,
As
who knows
opposed
what
to-
else?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a Class A misdemeanor. What
Really?
a 20-year-old.
That's all that is?
Right, well, what's a 20-year-old doing with a 12-year-old girl? That's
Unless they knew, you don't know. Did he know her? Were they neighbors? Did she ask him for a ride? Did she say, hey, I can't take the abuse I'm getting at home anymore. Will you help me get away? There are circumstances that could make this a gallant effort on his part, but it just doesn't. The optics aren't good, right? You're a 20-year-old guy. You've got a 12-year-old in your car. The Amber Alert, now, so I'll paint a scenario not knowing anything about any of the people. What if dad was abusing this girl? What if the neighbor boy saw it? He's 20. He's got a car. She comes over and says, please give me a ride. Get me out of here, man. I can't take it. Where are we going to go? I don't know. Anywhere but here. They drive away together, and all of a sudden we're saying, oh, he's a pedophile. He's a child rapist. He may not be. For all we know, he may be the good guy, which may be why he's only being charged with harboring
a runaway at this point.
runaway.
Maybe so.
There you
I don't
go.
know. But anyway, I know a lot of people's phones were blowing up yesterday on that. So
Did you
just
see
wanted to
that
pass
Marker
along.
37 incident down in Corpus the
Yeah.
other day? Burned up a bunch of boats.
Yep. That's where Snoopy's Pier and Doc Seafood and Steaks are,
Yep.
which are pretty popular restaurants down that way. But yeah, apparently
Cross the causeway and come back around.
most of the boats at Marker 37 Marina were went up in flames. A lot of them destroyed, many heavily damaged, and right before boat season.
All because that one guy got behind on his payments, decided to torch it. Man, it was a mess. It was a big time deal because boats like that, they will explode.
Yeah, and a lot of fishing guides apparently marina there.
Yeah.
But I haven't heard of any that I know personally whose boats were impacted. But that might make it really busy for some fishing guides.
After that, shrimping was easy. Lisa Poole says Eric Robertson, King of Gypsies. Isn't King of Gypsies? What is the one that involved the racehorse? Yeah,
With Eric Roberts, I don't know.
Well, there's 800 movies, maybe more than one about a racehorse.
Yeah, exactly.
There was one where they were trying to fix a horse race, I think. Do you make any correlation at all? Does it bolster or have any effect on your thoughts about Donald Trump as a racist, if you will?
It's called The Amazing Racer.
There you go. That they put the flags at half-staff to honor Charlie Kirk, but they didn't do so for Jesse Jackson. Is that even like a rational comparison?
I don't think the flag should have been flying at half-staff for either of them. They weren't
Okay.
elected.
So the country shouldn't. Now, I mean, I am kind of on you here, but I'm looking for the Canadian perspective. I'm being sincere. Because they weren't elected, they're not important enough for the flag to be at half-staff?
Well,
John Wayne dies tomorrow. They run the flag at half-staff?
John Wayne's already dead.
That's not what I asked you.
No, I don't believe so.
Okay. Now, Tom Cruise dies tomorrow. I say
No.
flag not at half-staff.
No.
John Wayne dies tomorrow. I say yes. Joe DiMaggio, maybe so. Willie Mays, maybe I would have if I was president. I think maybe the president can request that. I don't know. Cody, look into who decides when the flags go at half-staff.
I know the president can request it, and the governor can as well.
Is that your way of saying you're not going to look it up?
No, I'm
Am I-
also looking it up, but I just
Okay.
knew that information. Right?
We'd rather wait for the complete report.
Yeah. No, I just
He just shakes. I'm putting the camera on Cody Kim. He's just over there, like he's biting his tongue. He's like, it's their show. I'm not going to just
The
destroy
president of the
him.
United States and state governors.
State
Which
governor.
is,
So
which is what I just said.
right. Well, of course. Well, and from what is it? What does Bill Posey say? From your lips to God's ears. I mean, maybe your
what's your source? Do you have a
AI
source?
infected computer just took what you said as rule of law.
The VA has it. Also, USHistory.org has that on it.
Okay. Callie Fromming says, what about Willie
No.
Nelson?
Well, maybe at the state level, but not nationally. But I do think I think if it was any other president than Trump, it probably would have flown at half staff for Jesse Jackson.
Is that because
think-
Trump's
I think he's a Democrat and Trump hates the Democrats. Even though Trump and Jesse Jackson had a long history together.
and Donald Trump was invited to Jesse Jackson's funeral by the family.
But I don't.
BJ Nelson says, trust the Bauman.
But I
Thank
think
you,
if,
BJ Nelson.
But I think if you're trying, but I think two things are different though. Jesse Jackson died of natural causes. Charlie Kirk was assassinated for exercising his free speech rights in this country.
So assassination could be a criteria under Ash's rules
Well,
for the flag.
I think it makes it a little different, but I don't think it's racist.
I agree.
Or I don't think it makes Donald Trump a racist not to fly the flag at half staff for Jesse
I
Jackson.
will tell you that I believe
If that was the case, the flags would have to fly at half staff for every failed politician in this country.
I got a chance. I think that you would have to say, if you were objective, that 95% of the things that people lay on being racist are just not
No.
racist.
Did we ever decide when Brent dies if we're going to fly the flag at half staff on the building?
There's no chance. Gary Schmeckle says, see you tonight at
Palace
Bingo.
Bingo.
Peter McNally says many men can't control their urges and it causes immense problems, kind of like drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
Those people, the difference is you can do drugs and alcohol, and in general, unless you drive a vehicle, you're only affecting yourself. You want to be a drunk? Go be a drunk. You want to take drugs? Go be a drug head. You decide that your urge towards little children is not able to be cured, and I say we cure it with a 9mm.
And Peter, I'm going to disagree. I think women are probably affected just as much when you look at all the teachers that get caught having
They'd
affairs.
be so honey. They're so honey. Asian teachers especially. There you go, folks. It's not a full day if we don't offend somebody. If you're offended, tune in tomorrow. Have a great day. We love you.
We'll see y'all tomorrow.
Go enjoy your Thursday.
Come join us tonight at Palace Bingo. Bye, folks.